Welcome back to the Tour Daily Podcast, everybody. I'm Kaylee Fretz, coming to you from the finale of Stage 17. Actually, after the finish of Stage 17, we are in Valence. We are in a lovely little square. We'll set the scene in more detail later in the show. Before we do, Johnny Long, welcome, and it's your last night on tour.
Yep, DNF, Stage 18.
Yep.
Nothing physically wrong with me, just a bad attitude. No, I've recovered somewhat from my haute de cam Jours. And, yeah, thank you all for this tour. It's been good fun.
Oh, no, you're not talking to us. You're talking to the audience. Who are you talking to?
Everyone.
That was good.
Literally everyone's listening.
Everyone's listening.
To talk to.
We actually have a healthy crew this evening. You're going to hear from a bunch of us, probably. We'll try to keep it to the normal crew mostly. Also joining me, Ian Trillor. Also Ianing me. Ian Trillor, we're on Stage 17.
We sure are.
That's where we are now. It's going to be a rough evening. And also to my left, Joshua Robinson of the Wall Street Journal. Welcome.
Thank you. Hoping I count as normal crew.
I think you're normal crew.
Normal-ish.
Johnny, can you... Are we gonna...
we're introducing the other two. Patrick feels fucking besmirched.
And Patrick Redford of Defector. Patrick, sorry, you didn't have your own mic, so I wasn't sure if you were going to jump in or not.
Josh and I have been sharing for several days. As part of the Abnormal crew, it's great to be here.
You've become a double act very quickly.
This is Patrick Robinson of the Joshua Redford Journal.
I was so sure it was going to be a Patrick Ian doubleheader this tour, but this one's really come out of left field. This is a Simon Yates tour stage win.
The microphone holding dynamics have really shaped the contours of this.
Indeed.
All right, let's get to today's stage.
Yes.
Stage 17, we have a transition stage. We had a mostly flat stage won by Jonathan Milan. And the sort of the relevance of this is, I think, slightly greater than it would be otherwise, because if he didn't win today, it was going to be really, really hard for him to win the green jersey.
Yep.
But he did, and so it's on. It's like fully on between now and Paris. Johnny, could you maybe just run me through the finale a bit? Let's stage a bit, yeah.
Well,
Before we get to the finale, I would bloody love to talk about the doomed breakaway of the day.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yes, because this is right up your street.
Yeah, we were talking about it in the car on the way here between bouts of car sickness. Johnny was like, "This might be your best ever breakaway day."
Well, no, before that, you Kaylee asked who's in the breakaway, and you said Mathieu Bergadou as a little throwaway comment.
A little joke.
Turns out,
I was right.
Yeah, you were right.
Nailed it. And normally I get intel on that from my friends at the Total Energies bus, but this time it was just vibing it and getting it, just nailing it.
Yeah.
So we had Mathieu Bergadou, we had Kenton Pacher, who is a man that has talked to me at length about his red beard that he keeps trimmed short because he is a climber, quote. We also had...
Thank you for quoting him.
Albanese from EF.
Yeah.
Who has the same surname as the Australian Prime Minister, and that's the main thing that I know about him.
Yeah.
And Abrahamson.
Yeah, how could you possibly forget?
It was a real big breakaway boy day, so I was very excited.
Well, and we thought super doomed. But then a storm rolled in, and that automatically sort of gives the breakaway a bit of an advantage.
But before that, it nearly came together because we had that first categorized 4 climb, and the call came over the Ineos Grenadiers radio, which we were treated to on the television, where the Ineos Grenadiers DS said, yeah, you might as well hit the front and try and break things up, because otherwise you'd have sat in the bunch all day for nothing. Which I like, maybe a bit harsh, because they did
Was
win
it Zach Dempster?
I've only seen the text, so I don't know which DS it was. I didn't hear it in real time. But I like that idea, because for a lot of the past couple of Tours de France, time and arrangement stage win aside, they have done exactly that. So it's nice they finally twigged that on stage 17 of the 2025 Tour de France.
I like the tactical nous of just really splintering the day apart to sprint for 12.
Yeah, well, I guess the theory would be that Sam Watson finished top 10, I think, on the opening stage, and he's got a ton of pace. So if you and they did successfully drop a bunch of the sprinters, who then had a frantic chase back on.
Milan was gone for a while.
Well, and it also gave us entertainment for the middle of the stage. So actually, you have to give a forthright and honest chapeau to the Ineos Grenadiers.
But there are a lot of teams that could take a page out of that playbook.
Yes.
Again, we talked the other night, it feels like a month ago, about teams who have done absolutely nothing at this tour.
The list is extensive.
But what is the point if you're not going to, animate the race in some way?
If you don't buy a ticket, you can't win the raffle.
Listen, we're not asking everyone to honor the yellow jersey, but maybe honor your own jersey a little bit.
The people who pay your wages, yeah. Or yourself, perhaps. A bit of pride in being able to race a bike, yeah. Agreed.
So breakaway.
Yeah, we had
climbs in the middle of the stage because they absolutely refused to just do a normal sprint stage.
I rate that.
Yep.
Well, it made it better. It made it entertaining for a middle part of the race that would have been boring otherwise. Coming to the finish, rain rolls in from the storm. We'd kind of seen it gathering overhead as we hurtled up the A road at a legal speed.
Yep.
And then with about a kilometre to go, Liam, you had the exact meterage, I believe.
Well, before that, we had Jonas Abrahamsson doing his brave Norwegian boy thing.
Well, not brave enough for the combativity prize. That was a content Pachet obvs.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Which is insane. But he's already had one earlier, so I think they shared them around.
I said, not on this year's pod, maybe on last year's pod, I said that the combativity prize was basically the most French prize. And I had a bunch of people yell at me for that on the internet and say that that is not the case. Today, definitive proof that is just the most French prize.
And it is also a little bit the people that were in the breakaway that haven't already got the combativity prize from earlier, because Matthew Bergadou already got one.
Yep.
Jonas Abrahamsson already got one.
And not to make it more French, but it is not called combativité, it's combativité, and that is most French.
There was a request from my wife for you to talk more French on the podcast, so I'm glad that you are scratching that itch.
Hot seat Ian Treloar. Jeez. Wow. What a revelation. Sure she'll enjoy that revelation live on the podcast.
Talk me through the final kilometre then.
So basically, a lot of the bunch all jettisoned. I think lost Tim Malia in the mix. Not sure if he was there.
He was behind the crash.
He was behind the crash. Like a bunch of guys in the crash. Go on.
There were two crashes. So there was like a 2 kilometre crash-ish, I think. That was my understanding.
I thought there was only one.
There might just have been one.
I think there's just one.
Okay, then I'm being led astray by TV2 at the Uno X bus.
Those rapscallions. Anyway, very reduced sprint. And if you look at the stage result, I just have to click off another ad for some stupid iPhone game on procyclingstats.com, which is absolutely doing my head in for the past couple of days. And if you look down the list of the top 10, stage result, Jonathan Milan first, maybe not a surprise. People were backing him for the stage as a pure power sprint.
Yep.
Jordi Meus second. Our favourite Simpsons song man.
Yep.
Tobias Andreasen, Arnaud Delis fourth, and Ballo, a.k.a. Davide Ballerini, fifth. So not necessarily who's who of the sprinters of this tour, if there are really that many, but it was a fairly easy victory with Jonathan. I always think when it's a rainy sprint finish, it makes it look harder than it probably was to win for those top guys.
Well, he had to get through the crash was the big thing.
Yeah. He had a good lead out, good teammates around him.
We were watching the Peacock coverage in Josh's car, and they called it an easy victory for Jonathan Milan after the crash before he had even finished the stage. It was like 400 meters left.
I would actually say that it is an easy victory if you look at it in the scope of the last sort of half of the bike race. But before that, it was actually a really hard victory.
Super hard.
Because Little Trek did so much work to bring it all back together. Shout out to Quinn Simmons, Tom Scorench on that front. Because Stuyven as well.
Consoni.
Turns.
For
the lead out.
We've named them all except for Nice.
It was really a pretty much a whole team effort to bring it all back together for that to be the sprint finish that Milan inevitably won.
And Quickstep also put a lot of work in too. They were like trading poles with Trek for a long time in the middle there, and poor Merlier got caught up in the crash.
Even Valentin Parapantra was getting bottles from the team car, which is absurd because the bottles were bigger than he was.
Yeah, how many did Carroll? 1? 2 maybe?
And even then, it was like a struggle.
Tripled his weight.
That is not a guy that you want to Sherpa bottles.
The big sort of victim of the crash seemed to be Binim Gamai, who then got back up and made his way across the line, but had that classic like holding your arm gingerly thing. So you're like, okay, what is this, a wrist, collarbone, what's going on? I think it's come out that he suffered no fractures. So he's banged up.
He was not looking good, and at the Intermarché bus afterwards, when the race finishes, especially when it's in the pouring rain, you kind of have to divide and conquer. So Kaylee went for the Little Trek bus. I thought that Biniam Gamai was probably the most after hedging the wrong bets and going to the Uno X bus, which was deeply doomed. But I went to the Intermarché bus and waited there for Biniam Girmay, and there's about to be a story up on the website about that. In my travels at the Intermarché bus,
in the rain,
I wandered over to a team car, which had Intermarché's bikes on top of it.
Okay.
And Biniam Girmay's bike had, like, the bottom half of the handlebar on the right-hand side just snapped off. It was gone. Carbon splintered everywhere, bar tape everywhere.
A mess.
A real mess.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that he's a bit sore after that.
Yeah.
One other point from my observations at the Intermarché bus is that is just a vibey place to be, because you've got like 100 Eritreans standing around. They don't really care that he didn't win. They're just stoked that they're breathing peripherally the same oxygen as Biniam Girmay.
As they should.
That was very nice in the pouring rain in Valence, in a bad part of town, I would say.
Yes. The big update post stage, as a result of Jonathan Milan's win in the sprint, is he's now taken out a 72-point lead in the green jersey competition. So maybe it's looking like, thanks to that stage victory, the tide's turned, and we don't have to worry maybe about Tadej Pogačar green jersey, or is it still on the cards?
It's still in the cards. So I spoke with actually a couple of different folks about this. Greggy Rast, who's a director over there, he spoke on this. Actually, we could just listen to him. Let's listen to him, what he said. So
Where's the Wonderwall guy?
They are confident now. Again, if they hadn't won today, because the drop off in points is so significant from first to second on these sprint stages, if they hadn't won today, it would have been really, really hard. But because they won today, basically, if he gets the intermediate in the next couple of days, there's one at 23K tomorrow.
Okay.
There's one at 8K. Literally 8K into the race on Friday. So they're literally like,
that's just to keep the sprinters in the race.
Yeah, like
basically.
Lieltrek is going to, from kilometer 0, line it out. Be prepared for that sprint. It's going to be very funny.
No breakaway before those sprint points.
No, I mean, like, I think any other rider,
unless Jonathan Milan's in it. Yeah.
Well, the directors will look at that on every other team, and they will look at this route, and they'll be like, don't even bother.
Yeah.
Because anything you do before 23K tomorrow and 8K on Friday, Lieltrek is chasing you. Just don't. And as soon as that sprint point is done, then I think we're gonna have big breakaways.
But no breakaway until then. Just how Nils Pollitt likes it.
Yeah, we haven't really gotten into this sort of controversy around this.
Well, Tadej Pogačar was asked about it at his yellow jersey press conference in the press room today. Had to be explained to Tadej Pogačar quite a number of times until he got it. Where it was like, he was like, "Who's saying this?" And it's like, well, Jean-René Bernadotte said it, Thomas Verck said it on French TV.
Saying specifically that the
UAE are arrogant, and then
yeah.
Pogačar had to clarify then, well, who are they saying is arrogant? It's like, you. You dummy. That's why we're asking you about this. And he was sort of like, oh, whatever he was right in what he said, well, whatever I say will now come across as arrogant because people have got that word in their heads, and it's like, you can't answer that sort of question and not come across as the thing that people are saying about you.
Yeah.
Did he address how he would handle the attacks from Thomas Voeckler in the last week of this race? They were sure to come on the road.
I wish he had.
There was a big Thomas Voeckler press conference this morning with a bunch of French journalists, but they were all talking about. So Voeckler is also the head coach of the French national team.
Plates.
And so it was mostly on that subject, right?
Oh,
Josh, you and I were standing there, and I was getting, as I usually do in French, around 50% of what was happening. But you
would not
understand.
believe how many questions there can be about the European Championships.
Give us the highlights only, please.
The highlights only were he was not surprised by Kevin Vauquelin's performance at this Tour de France because he has that in him.
Wow.
That dog in him.
That chien.
Will they be taking Arnaud Demar for 6,000 meters of climbing in Rwanda?
It's not for him.
Okay, good to figure that one out. Yeah.
And he's not going to get on his knees in front of the talent of Paul Seixas. But
interesting way to frame that. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
You said that, not me. Actually, Thomas Voeckler said it, but
say he said it.
But he said, he cannot say enough about how talented he is, and they're bringing him to the Tour next year.
Yeah, Paul Sirius said that. Not Paul. Is it Paul Sirius? What's his name? Dominique Sirius.
Yeah,
Serious.
to the D.
Paul,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
getting confused with Paul Sykes.
Decathlon guy.
He said, coming to the tour next year, and I think it was Daniel Free that tweeted today.
Sorry,
or
we are moving too fast. So we are talking about now
Sorry, yeah,
Paul
Paul
Sykes,
Sykes.
who is the next
18-year-old
French
Hope.
hope.
As far as I'm concerned, he's already won the tour by 2030. It's
Yeah.
my favourite.
You know how excited I get about a French hope.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
all
you've
of
got-
us.
that's the whole thing. You've got to get excited. You know?
That's my main bit.
The he will, to put it into context, he will still Paul Sykes will be eligible for the white jersey until 2031.
That's correct.
So in terms of counting your poulets before they've hatched, no eggs, oofs.
Oofs.
No, counting the poulets. Yeah,
Count
yeah.
your chickens before they hatch. Yeah.
Yeah.
The chickens hatched out of the eggs. Jesus
Exactly.
Christ.
But which came first?
Ask Thomas.
What came
Voeckler.
first is it's going to be a Paul Sykes yellow jersey before he runs out of white jersey eligibility.
Yeah, big time.
So sorry, we were moving a little bit fast there because we're chucking around a lot of French names that I think maybe or maybe
Sorry.
not people understand. So
How dare you talk about France at the tour?
Serious is the CEO of Decathlon, and
Yeah.
Seixas, is it Seixas? How do you pronounce it with an X in
Seixas?
it?
Yeah, 6S.
Seixas. He is the next French hope. He's like 18 right now, and he apparently is coming to Tour de France next year when he's 19.
Yeah.
But he is like very, very good.
Wow.
So get ready for completely reasonable expectations and
Yes.
a very delicate handling of this young talent.
Perfect. Let's wrap it all the way back
Yeah.
here because we kind of glossed over the Pogacar thing, which is there was an incident with Niels Pollitt on the road yesterday, where Pollitt was kind of like trying to keep riders. We mentioned this briefly on the podcast, where Pollitt was trying to keep riders from escaping into the break, and he was basically like, "I get to decide who goes in the break. Not you, and he would be like, "I'm going to chase you down unless I decide you can go." And Thomas Voeckler took issue with this. He was very displeased by this entire scenario, and he spoke about it on French television, which then meant he was asked about it today, which then meant that Pogacar was asked about it in the press conference. I'm just bringing people along
Thomas
on the
Voeckler
thing.
also looking lean as hell.
Oh, yeah.
As much as
Fit.
Richard Plugger, especially on Mont Ventoux, is still looking ripped and like he's ready to do a lot of DIY. Thomas Voeckler is still looking like sort of race ready.
He's spent about 100 hours on the moto this tour.
Yeah, he's tanned with an inch of.
Yep.
I think this is the first time I've seen him in proper clothing, as opposed to like a little singlet that he wears and then motorbike pants with Kevlar panels all over them.
He
So
looks
I'm-
like he's about to be an extra in the 15th installments of Fast and Furious.
I'm just happy to see that he can occupy civilized society.
Well, you say that, but I'm pretty sure he was wearing cycling socks still.
Tom Fast, Tom Furious.
Yellow card.
No, I liked it. Even if a bit fishy. The other main, Jonathan Milan nearly got beaten in the sprint today
Yeah.
by a random guy, according to Escape Collective eyewitnesses.
Wait, sorry.
Sorry.
Wait, we have to talk about the story first. And
Context,
then
context.
You can
No,
shame
I
me.
think we start with this. I think we start with
To see if it's actually understandable from how I wrote the story.
So first and foremost, we have since changed the copy in the story because
Yeah.
we went and read it and we were like, that's maybe not ideal. But first, Patrick Redford of Defector, could you read
Escape Collective proofreader.
Escape Collective's initial copy? This only existed for like 3 minutes, so if you read this, you're one of the real ones. You got in there early. Can you read this copy to us?
Today, I will be playing the role of Johnny Long on EscapeCollective.com first draft. According to eyewitnesses at the finish who spoke with Escape Collective, it looked like a random person, not someone who was protesting. The thing I'd like to call attention to here is eyewitnesses, multiple people who asserted this was a random person.
Confirm no one that either of them knew.
Johnny really stood this one up. You really
Facts.
stood this one up.
Look, you got to
Yeah.
look when you report. You got to talk to more than one person, and don't ask people if it's raining outside. Go and look outside for rain. It was raining. I said in the press room and text people who are outside. Simples. The story behind this.
That is how La Saucisson gets made.
Where? The story behind this is about 90 seconds, sorry, before the Tour de France peloton crossed the finish line, a random guy,
Just some guy.
just a guy.
We did briefly think it might be a famous or Jacob? We could bring Jacob in here.
Oh yeah, welcome to the podcast, Jacob Whitehead of The Athletic. Sorry about all this, but this is how it rolls. Who did you think potentially the so-called random guy was?
It's commonly my debut comes with having to describe the concept of Jarvo to a wider audience, who is an English. I feel like pranksters is a bit too kind to him, because kind of pranksters implies that everyone finds it really, really funny. But Jarvo 69, as it were, seems to be a law unto himself in terms of what he does. He's stuck into cricket games, onto football pitches, and you see him and you just roll your eyes and it's like, oh, it's fucking Jarvo.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, okay. Just roll your eyes and you're like, it's fucking Jarvo. But and this person is quite difficult to tell because he was in an aero tuck, and Jarvo carries a little bit of extra timber. But they had a face where it could have been Jarvo. So then I sort of found myself in the sort of indignity of having to check the size of Jarvo's thighs in a picture of him at a test match 2 years ago to the size of this fella's thighs in a sprint finish in his decathlon mock before eventually, after 5 minutes, confirms it was not Jarvo.
But it's kind of Jarvo-esque, though, right? Like, I mean, this individual who jumped on course in a decathlon jersey with numbers
road bike,
on.
flat pedals, and fake numbers.
Yeah, the numbers is what really does it for me, because to fashion that yourself, it shows a level of...
Hours in the stew, yeah.
It's so good.
It's good.
It's really good.
It makes it premeditated rather than, oh, I'm just out riding my bike, tour's on, might as well give it a whirl.
There are certain stands in the start village where they will make you a number with your name and whatever you would like it to say.
We need to scroll the tapes. All right. Because there was a dude at the start village today who gave me the bit of the heebie-jeebies in full Mark Cavendish 20. Usually I'm like, wear whatever kit you want, right? But when you are in full Mark Cavendish 2024 Tour de France gear, when Mark Cavendish
with
is
the bike.
Also there with the right bike and the right Nike shoes, fake Nike shoes, that gives me pause for thought and makes me actually think maybe I would dive in front of Mark Cavendish to save him from a bullet, because no one deserves to go out being shot by their doppelganger.
Are we sure that it wasn't Sir Mark Cavendish himself?
No, because
after a really rough year or so.
No, because Mark Cavendish was there. You could see both at the same time, and Mark Cavendish was in his ASO white polo shirt because he's now an official ambassador of the Tour de France, and had to get on stage and say how much he enjoyed this painting of him in a green jersey, which he then couldn't take off the stage because the person painting it hadn't finished it yet. And as soon as they presented it and applauded, the person went back to painting the green jersey painting. It was all quite awkward, but part of the joy of the tour, I would say.
Joy of the start village.
So anyway, back to the man who, Le Jarvo, let's call him, who was
our American listeners are going to have zero context around this, but yeah, Jarvo pitch invades.
Yeah, pitch invader, who is
routinely
a serial pitch invader. Yeah, apparently was maybe rode like final few hundred kilometers. I don't know where he got onto the course, but then the police car that goes ahead of Christian Prudhomme's #1 race car tried to sort of talk him out of it, but obviously couldn't do anything because the peloton's so close that you're worried about causing a blockage, and then they're going too fast to stop them. Pulled out, let the guy continue. Our friend from before, Stefan Burry, with the perfect sort of tackle out of bounds.
Yep.
Apparently didn't feel confident in tackling guy and bike, so sort of stepped out of the way last minute and then like kind of pushed him in the back to maybe like speed him along or look like he was doing something.
Godspeed, young squire.
Godspeed. At which point, the CRS policemen, who are the scary
cops,
they knocked him over. Looked a lot like, from videos and photos, that this guy was knocked unconscious, and they were sort of dragging his lifeless corpse between a slit in the barrier that they'd opened up.
It was a lot.
A lot of brutality, but like, don't go on the course. Like, you kind of know what's going to happen. There's enough scary police around that you know it's going to be bad news.
Yeah. I, for one, am just glad that there's precedent for this level of brutality from the time that one of the guys that works for the ASO beat up a protester with his microphone.
Yeah, exactly.
Radio.
Look, not condoning it, but like, you know what's going to happen, right? They're not going to let you off, because then everyone will start doing it, and it is dangerous. Like, if those guys like run into you.
Yeah. So a couple of years ago on the Champs-Elysees, there was a guy in like a big sort of winged angel outfit thing.
I remember.
And he just stepped into the road. And it was a bit of an eye-opening moment as to how easy that would be, right? I know we talked about this with the previous protester as well, but like, it's a very public and open and available sport. And today was another instance of this, which is if you have a bike, you could just ride on course and go to the finish line. Like you can.
But know that Paris, in particular, given the history of the past 10 years, will take this extremely seriously.
Well, but this is my point. Is that but if you choose to do so, you are going to get your shit rocked.
If you love the Tour de France and kind of want to ride the final few 100 meters of the stage, and you love getting beaten up, then
maybe this is for you.
Stretching.com, but yeah, wild.
Don't do this.
Wild moment.
Don't do this.
So the photos are great.
We have twice now in this tour had to text our photographer friends and been like, "What on earth did you see at the finish line?"
Yeah.
And they have, thankfully, because they are good people, they have responded. And they've told us what they saw at the finish line, which is helpful because we're writing stories about this. It's important to get out there. But we don't want to do this anymore. Like, it's bad. It's like it puts. Genuinely, this guy was 90 seconds ahead of the peloton. He could have been 15 seconds ahead of the peloton and run over by a 75-kilometer Jonathan Milan.
A big crash, and the fans are so close to Paris.
He could have been like 5 seconds ahead of the peloton and won a stage of the Tour de France.
Ian. It's wild.
Jonathan Milan could have been Julian Alaphilippe today.
He could have, would have, should have. Decathlon haven't had a stage win this tour, have they?
No. Let's take. I feel like we've already sort of drifted, but let's take a quick break. When we come back, we've got more. We've got more Cav. We've got UAE cars. We have a taste test.
We've got a secret story from the others.
We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We have a lot to talk about in the second half of the show today. But before we get into the real important stuff, who's the selfie king, Johnny? We have a new selfie king?
Well, yesterday, in a very Trumpian manner, Johan Brunel deflected from his undeniable breaking of his lifetime ban from the sport of cycling, especially enraging the UCI by going into the Tour de France village with his accreditation and posting a photo to Instagram of him pointing at Lance Armstrong's standing Tour de France victories, which they haven't scrubbed.
If you're trying to fly under the radar, that's not the way to do it.
If you're trying not to antagonize the beast of the UCI, don't do that.
Yep.
So knew what I was getting himself in for. But this morning, I think we've already mentioned on the podcast, Mark Cavendish was in the start village today, and I watched him from afar, because I'm a sneaky little creep, walking down towards the start line, doing one of his selfie videos, presumably for the Tour de France, but watching someone do one of those selfie videos where they have to be like engaging and up and on, and being so excited about something that is exciting but also not that exciting, is fairly demeaning for the record stage winner, for everyone.
I mean, this is why. What's the Instagram account? Influencers in the Wild.
This would have been a perfect influence.
Perfect,
in the wild
because
situation.
to make good social video, you have to look to everybody around you like a crazy person. And so anybody who does this regularly in public, like us, for example, making a podcast in the evening in a restaurant in France.
Good self-awareness there that I was missing. Thank you.
Are crazy people. Is a crazy person.
That's a bit more, though.
It's significantly worse.
It's a bit more debasing than recording a podcast in public.
We put our lanyards on so that people know that we're not just crazy influencers.
It's a comfort blanket for the cycling podcast.
Yeah, something like that.
We also have apparatus, microphones.
It's so true.
We also have the decency to look a little bit self-disgusted whilst we're doing it.
Well, that's the thing, is I do think you could see in Mark Cavendish that he wasn't entirely, comfortable with what he was doing. But that's the lane he's picked for himself, and I'm sure he's getting paid a decent amount of money to do a selfie video. I mean, wouldn't you, Ian?
No, I probably wouldn't.
Name your price.
No, because whenever it's showtime for me, the lights go off.
Yes. Okay.
I don't know what that means.
What we should do really is set the scene to introduce the fun part of the show.
We should set the scene here. Who wants to set the scene? Patrick Redford of Defector?
I would love to do half of setting the scene along with my colleague Josh Robinson. So we are in Valence, France, and Josh and I left the start line area, and about 500 meters away, Ian, you mentioned a certain punishing vibe. There's a lot of talk of sort of a purgatorial type situation. Not that far away from the start area is the Valence penitentiary. And then when we passed it, Josh said, "Oh, is that the prison where it happened?" And I said, "What?"
Yeah, this is a prison that has been in the news not once but several times in the past years. So,
Okay.
There's been a lot of like violence from inmates against corrections officers, and I think we'll spare you the details, but I think it was not anodyne that they put the press room like within a stone's throw of the literal prison here. And it was driving past it in the rain. It was all quite a grim vibe. Luckily, this is not the vibe we're having now. We're in the main square, and it's lovely.
Was it a bit Shawshank?
I thought there might have been an escape recently, but I was thinking of a different prison in France.
That kind of thing just happens here, apparently, yeah.
Happened in the UK as well recently. There was a big prison escape.
Yeah.
Got found on a bicycle, no less.
But
yeah, on the towpath of the Thames.
If one escaped from Valence prison, this would not be a bad place to come.
I would
The
agree.
vibes are good here.
Teeing off that, Jacob Whitehead.
You had all the rain, which you needed at the end of Shawshank at the end of the stage. You can imagine the announcer just going, and the winner is Jonathan Milan. You smash down on the table and do it. The Mayor Grimpeur.
Is that where the bike ride guy came from?
Oh, maybe he was just trying to get away. The perfect escape, you just wear a jersey of the team in the race and you blend in and no one knows the difference. He was too fast. He was too good at riding his bike.
He wasn't a random guy. He was a criminal.
You need to ask more sources.
We watched the video of that while we were on our little break there, and I have a theory, which is that the man broke his collarbone on the way down.
Okay.
Like nasty hit, nasty crash, broke his collarbone on the way down, and then was immediately picked up by the shirt, which I'm having trouble imagining anything more painful than that with a broken collarbone, and so I'm wondering if he actually just passed out from the pain. Because he looks passed out, but he was never, as far as we could tell, because it was sort of hit in the head or anything. And he was not unconscious right when he hit the ground or right after he hit the ground. So that's the only thing I can kind of think of. It was nasty.
Teeing off on the punishing vibe of Valence, and not that it's not punishing now. It's very nice here, and we've just had a lovely dinner. But it was a bit grim when it was raining. There was a moment of. I will preface this by saying that I love my job. I am very lucky to do what I do, and I like what I do. But in the press room, after watching a rainy stage finish, in the rain, very wet, everyone's just kind of like tapping away. There was a moment of self-awareness when I looked around at my colleagues, 200 or 300 of them sitting in a press room in a sweaty handball stadium, and thinking, what is all this for? Because we're just writing these stories that are going to be gone in 6 hours, and it's just
well, you're not. You're doing something that will last long after you pass, probably.
But how long until then, Johnny?
No, I get what you mean. Yeah, you sometimes think that, but just try not to think about the bad thoughts. Just push them deep, deep down, and then just get on with your day.
We are bringing joy to the people.
I think all of the people around us who have been celebrating birthdays, we've had 2 different birthday surprise cakes with like big sparklers coming up.
I was just glad we weren't in a Buffalo Grill, because you know what a big sparkler on a cake means.
What does that mean?
It
racist
means
chanting.
Racistness and cultural insensitivity.
Yeah, just general cultural insensitivity.
Yeah, Joshua Robinson, it does.
And on the plus
you won't know
side,
this, you've never been to a Buffalo Grill.
What's up, YouTubers? We're back out here at the Buffalo Grill.
It is like that.
On the plus side, we haven't had any racist chanting, but we have ruined at least 2 different birthdays.
Indeed. Back to the bike race and things that were spotted.
Yeah, let's spot some things.
So I actually bumped back into you and Chris Marshall-Bell having a little chat by the UAE bus.
We were
next
deep
to
in conversation.
I joined, started leaning against the UAE team car. Lennon was like, that's kind of hot, that must be on. Took my hand off, looked into the driver and passenger seat. There's inside is Machin having a very, 1 second. Machine had a very animated AirPods like conversation on the phone. Sitting in the passenger seat but facing out towards the passenger window was Mara Gianetti, sipping a very small Senseo coffee, looking at the congregation of Tadej Pogacar Slovenian fans. And I checked back a number of times over like a span of 4 minutes, and his gaze had not averted as he like slowly sipped his coffee. So no idea what was going through his head or what mental gymnastics he was trying to do. But
That is a very high baldness density.
it was
in
very
one car.
odd. He looked like an animatronic Mara Gianetti that had been set up to just look in one direction, like slowly sip the coffee.
Did you ask him the hard questions, Johnny?
I did go up to him and ask whether Tadej Pogacar was doping, and he said no. So that nips that one in the bud.
I mentioned that because we've been asked numerous times recently to ask these questions, mostly off the back of the Brailsford story.
Yeah.
And I've tried to explain in various places that the stories are in very different places. Where like one story we have a lot of questions. We have a lot of questions that are unanswered. We have a lot of facts that are unclear or contradictory. And the other is sort of not that. And anyway, I was making a bit of a joke about the futility of that particular line of questioning. Unfortunately, like it'd be great if they would just tell us things.
Maybe I'll bring him a bigger Senseo coffee and he'll tell me the truth.
Possibly.
That is a rare and unusual punishment, so maybe that would do it.
Can we introduce a new segment to the podcast?
I would love to.
So we had Well, That's a Smell, which we enjoyed. I think earlier in the race, there was a squelching noise, apparently, whenever we'd say it. Also, there was one today. We had another, as Ian and I were walking back, we had another horrible bus evacuation smell.
Oh, really?
Which
like,
is really saying something when there's that much liquid coming from the air. You'd think that would just sort of
finish
drown
line.
it
Yeah,
out.
no, finish line. It was
wow.
dumping rain and
You can still smell it.
horrible.
Are we going to
bus
out the
vac-
bus?
Who was it?
No, we don't know. But we're going to pass over that because we've talked enough about smells. Because today we have a positive taste. Well, that's a taste.
Yeah.
Johnny, what is the taste today?
Sorry, I'll just preface this with this segment brought to you by Oatly. That's an oaty milk.
So, Kaylee, you went to the EF bus this morning, in part to maybe build some bridges with the team who we get on well with after Ronan's reporting, chuck him under the EF bus, about how EF and Rafa are reportedly parting ways.
They are parting ways.
Well, they are parting ways.
Yep.
I was hedging my bets there because I
Nah,
haven't
we
gone on
know.
to read the story. So building bridges, I think successfully done.
Well, so here's the issue.
You know,
Can I clear the air?
sure. Squash the beef.
Squash the beef. Here's the issue: is Ronan reported. Let's throw him under the bus because he's not here.
Ronan did this.
So Ronan did this entirely on his own. We can't take any responsibility for this whatsoever.
No.
No, that's not true. So Ronan reported accurately that EF and Rafa are splitting up at the end of this year. And I think the thing that was most taken issue with was not that reporting. It was actually the sort of description of the way that Rafa had influenced EF's content production. Because EF, I think it's pretty safe to say, does the best content in pro cycling. Easily. And early on, I do know that EF was somewhat involved in that. They had content production sort of back then. We're talking like 2019 or so.
Rafa. You mean Rafa?
Sorry, Rafa. You know who I'm talking about. You know who you are. Rafa was involved in EF's content stuff early on. But for the last 5 or 6 years, EF has had its own content team making its own content. And so they kind of bristled at this.
Yeah.
Right?
Fair enough.
Validly. It would be like if someone came to us and said,
Johnny was writing all of Ian's stories.
Exactly.
Ian would be furious.
Ian would be furious. And so, I had some bridges to rebuild on the way over at EF.
Successfully so, because they gave you a chilled little box of Oatly cappuccino.
It was...
I tasted it. I'm a box chilled cappuccino guy. I'm a Tesco meal deal. And I can say, honestly, I would never shill for someone I didn't like. But if Oatly are listening, then... You know, we're flirting with the idea of advertising. Oatly would be a good one that I would have no moral qualms with. It was delicious.
On my way back from just bothering other people down the other end of the paddock, I came past and Johnny had told me that there was a good oat cappuccino.
I gave you a little taste, did I?
Gave me a little taste. And then I interviewed Alex Baudin's spaniel.
You did.
And then I asked Johannes, the press officer, if I could have a little cappuccino. and it was good. And then I felt a little bit sick in the car.
Yes.
But I don't think that is the EF cappuccino. I don't think that's their fault.
Josh Robinson's just showing me. He's typed out on his notes app. Okay, Lance, directed towards me for doing an advert. That is the first advert in 3.
And the
3
all we
years
were
of tour
all we
daily
were
adverts.
paid in is love.
All we were trying to do was get the people who've been here in Paris back into the EF Paris party. This is all we're working towards.
And I am happy to go on record as saying that oat milk is comfortably my 3rd favorite milk.
That's not very Melbourne of you. Or are there new oat milks that have superseded oat milk, so to speak?
What? So wait, rank your milks then.
You got the cow.
Yep.
You got the soy. You got the oat. Then you've got cashew or something.
Almond?
Almond.
Oh, almond. Yeah,
Yeah.
No, that's below oat.
Interesting.
Goat. That's a
Maybe-
classic.
Goat milk.
Classic milk.
Wouldn't even touch it.
Second day of goat. Yeah, we gotta get out.
We're back to the goats.
No
are
more
we,
goat
Patrick?
corner.
I'm returning to the bicycle race now because
Well-
nearby the EF bus,
Oh, wait, where are you going with this?
Pokey bus.
How long have we recorded? Because I feel like we should give people a good after dark today. deserve
We've been 45 minutes ish. 40 minutes.
Okay, this final free story, then we'll move on.
Okay.
We also have a Mayo Sabler.
Oh, let's do Maya Sabler
Okay. Maya Sabler right
Can
now.
someone check you're in trouble, please, while I get up the Maya Sabler?
There is none. I checked.
There is none. Great, because then that means my story still holds and I don't have to change it. I would like to load the pro selection.
I can tell you the
stats.com.
answer.
Have you got it, Ian? You are.
We have a
on
carryover
fire
champion.
today. Really?
Yes. And that carryover champion is the exact person that I interviewed this morning who was wildly confused about what I was saying and why I was asking it to him. But then, as a little sweetener at the end, I asked him about his pet pig.
Great. Have you got something to throw to here?
Yeah. We'll throw it over to Valentin Madois.
I am from a podcast called The Tour Daily for Escape Collective, and we have a imaginary classification that we have on the podcast for the rider that is closest to 1 hour behind on GC. It's a very prestigious prize, and you are leading the Mayo Sabler, the hourglass jersey. How does this feel?
Good. So yes, my objective is to help Guillaume to finish in the best position in GC. So I don't know if I am in 1 hour, less 1 hour behind Pogacar, but I think it's difficult to finish in good position for all riders. So yeah.
Do you have any plans to try and hold on to it today?
Today, to help my sprinter, Paul Penouet, for doing his best result. So yes, I can help and rest day before the difficult stage in Alps.
Thank you very much. Congratulations on this prestigious award.
Thanks.
I also have one other question. Leon, your pig.
Huh?
Your pig, Leon?
Yeah.
Do you keep him at your family house or at your house? Or?
In my family of my girlfriend in Normandy.
Is he a good pig?
Yeah, good big, beautiful pig. Yes, perfect.
Is he going to stay as a pet or is he going to turn into sausages?
Oh no, just for the family, for the farm. So yes,
Okay.
he is in a house now.
So he will have a good life.
Yes.
I like that.
Thanks.
Bring us back in. So is he on the exact same time as yesterday because it was a sprint stage? Is that what you're telling me?
I haven't checked.
But you know,
I just know that he's still that man.
I mean,
just by divine intervention, you know that he is.
because the 5K rule, I'm assuming that
Ah.
everybody was held up
Got
in that
you.
crash, so they probably just left everybody the same.
Got you.
Yeah.
My bad.
I mean, great for getting Valentin Madois.
Yeah, kudos to you,
about
because I'll admit now, Trust Tree, even though not in Trust Tree, I saw him and he was a bit far away and I chickened out of shouting Valentin across to a man I wasn't sure spoke English.
I almost chickened out, but I was there for other important business. So I figured that I should do my job for once in my stupid life.
Fair enough.
Should we head into After Dark?
Yeah.
Okay, in After Dark today, we have the Pogi VIP bus. We have...
Two odd questions at the press conference.
Yep. We also have...
Ian confronted E. Leclerc.
We have E. Leclerc in the Black Book.
Yeah.
And we have Could You Land a Plane?
Yeah. Powered by the Hot Dog Street Journal.
So, if you are not a member, this is where the podcast ends. If you are a member, After Dark is the extended version of this podcast. All you have to do is keep listening if you have the member feed. If you're not in the member feed, head to escapecollective.com/join. Sign up now. The tour's not over. Plus, I hate to break it to everybody, but we do produce lots of amazing stuff the other 11 months out of the year. So you should sign up anyway. Head to escapecollective.com/join. Sign up now so you can join us in After Dark. Let's head to After Dark.